Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
Hello. Alright, welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in to listen to me ramble about things today. Gonna take a moment to settle in, but we're gonna do a pretty standard run through. I'm gonna spend a little bit more time on Bitcoin than normal, because things have definitely changed a little bit. Well, maybe not, but definitely how you should be approaching things have changed from the last stream. So we'll definitely be spending some time on the corn, then we'll get into some altcoins and just see where the chat takes us. So welcome everybody, hope everyone's doing well. Take a moment to catch up with chat. Thank you for 10k guys. My goal for the end of 2023 was to hit 10k subs on the account, and we did it just like 2 weeks into to 2024, so really close to the goal. So I'm gonna count that as a W, guys. So I think I did like 2.5x on the subs last year, so let's do 2.5x again. So let's go for 25k this year. That's the goal, 25k subs by the end of 2024. And I'm gonna do that by just continuing to put stuff out every week. And I hope you guys continue to enjoy it. So, hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for tuning in. I think we're gonna get started here in just a second. Just catching up with chat. Thanks, guys. Okay, I'm gonna get started right now. But before I do that, quick likes promotion shill. Click that like button. There's almost 100 of you in here and 17 likes. So yeah, press that like button for me. Help me out with the algo. I'm gonna hit 25k this year because of you guys pressing like. All right, let's go ahead and get into some Bitcoin. Obligatory water swig before we get going. Okay. So as far as higher time frame goes, nothing has really changed on higher time frame. A lot's changed on lower time frame stuff. So we're gonna breeze through the macro pretty quickly. Essentially, you know, looking at it on the 3-day chart right now, everything still says up from a higher time frame. We just had a really big fuck you moment, which we're gonna break down in a lot of detail as we get to lower time frame stuff. But you know, definitely huge sentiment shift across the market, which is really, you know, if you zoom out right and you look at this chart right, is this a bearish chart? Like, no, this is not a bearish chart, right? And everybody's like, you know, it's the end of the world kind of thing. And we are more or less just waiting for, you know, some of these aggressive sellers to just like chill out for a bit, and then we're going to go up again. That really is the TLDR of the entire stream. So you can just go ahead and turn it off right now. But I think that, you know, from a higher time frame standpoint, if I just like do a quick summary of where we're at over the past, you know, few weeks, right? We had been bullish all year, got into the, you know, 2024. We talked about maybe being a little bit more fluid with our bias. And not being caught up too much. I still think that I'm probably going to just continue to be a bull tart on higher time frame, right? So the key regions that we're working with haven't changed, so we'll just, you know, breeze through them really quickly, right? So the 2021 yearly VWAP level, and then the 2022 macro composite low. This level, I probably should have changed my my reviews for you guys, because really, like, the main level actually that matters the most is the Q4 value area high, right? So that's the main support that's holding us up right now. So we're basically working with a range from, call it 40k to 44k. The simple plan was that if we get below 40k, our first downside target's 38k. If we get below 38k, then our main downside target's 32k. If you got an opportunity to buy spot at 32k, you want to take it, because basically 32k all the way down to 29k is macro dip buying zone. You start to spend time below 29k, and then the bullishness is probably invalidated. So that's still like always been my main plan, but you know, there's a lot of momentum in the market right now. So worrying about all this downside stuff, you know, we had 3 major levels, right? You know, 2 major levels above the macro dip buying zone. So it's not really reasonable that we're going to be interacting with 32k anytime soon. So the flip side to that equation, right, is that if we get back above 44k, there's a lot of key levels around 44k, which we'll zoom in on here in a moment. But basically, if we get above 44k, then I think it should be a pretty easy move up towards 54k. I think we already kind of had the big fuck you move, so I don't think that that's probably going to happen again. If we start to spend time up here, then we'll probably be able to drift up to 54k pretty easily. So yeah, I mean, as far as higher time frame goes, I think that we're probably just going to continue to build out this range a little bit more. And you know, I do have lower time frame plans to want to see a dip down and get bought back up as a trigger, but realistically the lows could already be set, and we'll cover that here in a moment. But yeah, I mean, that's what we're working with on higher time frame. Over 44k, then we should go to 54. I do think that it's a matter of time before we do that. It's just a question of, do these Coinbase sellers continue to keep, you know, smacking down price and keeping the ask heavy, or do they give up soon, right? I'm not going to LARP as like the GBTC expert or anything, but, you know, essentially as soon as the ETF got approved, you had a lot of, you know, spot selling coming in from Coinbase. And the reasoning for that is, you know, it's not really something that I care to understand. I don't really want to be the guy that understands all the GBTC bullshit. All I really care about is observing the flows. And yeah, I mean, Coinbase is like definitively the reason that we're down, right? Like from the ETF news. So, I mean, we'll dive into that in a moment, but you know, that's a quick little preamble on the Coinbase conversation is going to be that, like, once they stop selling, I think that we're going to go up a lot. So it's just a matter of, does Coinbase sell? Are they done selling today? Are they done selling at the end of this week? Are they done selling next week? Right? I'm not going to, you know, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't predict flows like that. But once they're done selling, it's time to go up again. So I think that we can probably go ahead and move on from the higher time frame, right? It's been the same plan for weeks. So most of you guys are reoccurring viewers. So you probably are already familiar with that. It's probably just review. So let's go ahead and let's get into medium time frame and talk about some of the kind of situations that we're working with. So this was my doodle that I put out on Sunday. This is like the most ideal situation the way I was looking at it. The midpoint on the range right here, right? So our range is, you know, basically from here to here. And this is obviously, you know, the point of control for the range is just under 44K. So if we, you know, we should expect 44K to act as like immediate resistance right now. If we get above that, though, that's a reason to get risk on. So basically, the kind of breakout long is like starting to build value up here. And then I would start to just like honestly just chase beta, and whatever strong, you know, whatever strong beta exists during this period is what I would be aping into probably for the kind of breakout play. I don't really want to, I hate breakout longing. I do it occasionally, but it's really not something that I do that much. I'd much rather see the kind of fuck you move, which is the move up into resistance, get bonked down, and then have those kind of Coinbase sellers start to come back in really hard and mark us down. And then, you know, kind of have that mark the bottom, and have, you know, spreads start to reset, because spreads are all sorts of fucked up right now. So that's pretty much what I was working with from the medium time frame. As far as like the range goes, I still think it's bullish, right? Like we haven't even set a lower low within the current range. So doing like a fuck you sweep to really like stop out longs and kind of hit that pinnacle, like that peak moment for these spot sellers on Coinbase. That's kind of what I was hoping to see this week. Again, it's pretty predictive though, so who fucking knows, right? We theoretically could have just set the local low just now. Pretty interesting. Off the New York Open, we sold super hard. It's basically like an East versus West kind of thing, where Westerners sold super hard on the New York Open, and then the Easterners bought that shit up super aggro, which I can probably show here when we get to the lower time frame. So if there's any questions on any of the stuff I've been covering, let me know, obviously. But yeah, I mean, that's basically the core thoughts for medium time frame. I'm still, you know, I still think that this anchored VWAP from the major 34K impulse is probably something that could get tagged into. So basically this kind of low volume, you know, coming and doing a sweep below the range, taking out all the lows, into the anchored VWAP, into the low volume node. I really think this is like the perfect area to bet right now on a continuation long. So if we get this and it comes in off the right kind of flows, then I'm going to ape the shit out of it. And like I have my upside, like, kind of reasoning. If we get above this and start to spend time, I can just, you know, go ahead and ape up here instead. I don't really want to position right here in the middle though, guys. I'd much rather position on one of the sides of value, just because I really am not convinced that Coinbase won't continue to sell here. So hopefully that's all clear. Go ahead and I'll just show this super quickly. So this is like New York Open, right? So right when New York opened, yeah, Coinbase just sold super hard. I know it doesn't really look like they sold super hard, but they did. And then as we started to come back up, Coinbase ask was really heavy. So Coinbase has a heavy ask right now, and they're kind of interested in selling. So the only thing that popped this back up was like a lot of shorts opened on this, which I can show you really quickly. Right, like you had a pretty good amount of idiot shorts on Binance opening there. I didn't even look at Bybit because I don't care. But the Coinbase ask is super heavy right now, so you basically had the Binance bidder against the Coinbase seller. That's like the war that's going on right now. So if you look at premiums, right, most spot, most of the spot relationships to perps are trading pretty healthily, except for Coinbase. Coinbase is still trading like way below perps, which is, yeah, pretty interesting, right? You can see like Coinbase spot 60, Binance perps almost 90, pretty substantial. So that's something I'm really looking for. I want to see this spread between Binance perps and Coinbase spot start to stabilize more, which it does look like it's doing a little bit this morning, but it definitely needs to stabilize more, right? We need it to look like this, right? Most spot perp relationships are much healthier, but this is just indicative of how strong Coinbase's selling is, guys. That Coinbase is trading $20, $30 below, which isn't anything crazy, right? I've seen $100 premiums sustained, so it's nothing too crazy. But I imagine if the Coinbase seller starts to hit it hard again, we'll probably see that start to peak around like $150 spread before it starts to get arbed. All right, so yeah, if there's any questions on any of that stuff or just any questions in general, I'm gonna take a breather for a moment and catch up with chat. I think I pretty much just breezed through most of my Bitcoin stuff that I wanted to cover. I mean, my main, I guess the main conversation around with Bitcoin that I should have is that like, or just like trading in general, is that like, I know that, we're almost 2 weeks or a little bit over 2 weeks into the year. I know a lot of you guys are probably pretty horned up to be clicking buttons and to make money and stuff, but I've really been super inactive over the past couple of weeks. I've been like active in the sense that I'm watching the flows and everything, but I have not been clicking a lot of buttons. I've really just been waiting for, this kind of downside move to resolve. Those shorts got wrecked. It appears so. Well, I mean, they just closed out right away as soon as Binance. So yeah, that's what happened, right? I mean, this is Binance open interest. So Binance had somebody short with the Coinbase selling coming in, and then Binance spot bought and forced the shorters to close out. Which really what happened this morning, like this is like such a good illustration of like why you can't just blindly follow flows. You need some sort of tactical approach to it, because homie thought he could just fucking blindly short with the Coinbase seller and he got rinsed because of it. 12K main target. Have fun, brother. Reoccurring, yes. Redacted, also yes. Confirmed, Walt. Oh, you're Cryptoski. Damn, dude. You have like more than one account? Yeah, facts from Lear. 130 viewers, 42 likes. We need to pump up those numbers. Those are rookie numbers. You have a bid order at 36K. Maybe Satan will support you and that'll be the Pico bottom. Is CVD a meme? That's an interesting conversation. Yeah, so like I don't really use CVD anymore. I haven't used CVD for a really long time, probably not since 2021. Basically, guys, with Bitcoin, Bitcoin's flow is too nuanced nowadays for CVD to really give you any edge. You could probably use CVD effectively with like altcoins, especially newer altcoins that haven't been around all that long. You know, these shitcoins that you're trading that are high tick that have been out for 3 days, right? Maybe CVD is probably useful on that, but CVD is really not all that useful on Bitcoin anymore. You know, I would say the only people that CVD is going to be really useful in general are going to be the people that are smart enough to actually like run the game logic right. Those of you guys that have listened for a long time have already heard this kind of rant, but most people that are posting CVD on Twitter are just like not accounting for the passive participant at all. They're just like, oh, spots buying and perps are selling, we're going to go up. And it's like they're not even possibly considering the idea that the spot buyer is just buying into a strong passive ask, right? So I think that for most people, staying away from CBD, because it's just too nuanced for you to get it right. What's up, Jim? Added nicknames. Interesting. Yeah, I never knew Cryptoski. I always knew your Discord account. I never knew that was you, though. Crazy. You use CBD before bed. That's good. I didn't realize how close that sounds to CBD or CBD. Yeah, Charlie got your question answered. Thank you, Charlie. I didn't realize you were here still. Charlie's the mod. Do you think we will see Bitcoin pukes more often? No. I would argue that Bitcoin pukes will probably be less frequent as time goes on, right? Because even just we've seen it, right? Like Jim and Charlie are in the chat, you know, myself and like all the boys, we've seen it over the years that like Bitcoin pukes have died over time, their frequency and how dramatic they are. Because, you know, I actually was having this chat with Sting just the other day. And so basically Sting and I came to the agreement that the reason why Bitcoin's flows and trends are a lot less predatory and toxic these days are because because it's not, you would think it's because SBF, but it's actually because Arthur, right? Everybody that's an OG knows BitMEX used to create all the fucking wicks back in the day. So because BitMEX isn't the primary exchange anymore, and because we are so much more liquid than we were in 2018 and 19 and stuff, right? Even if we're less liquid than we were in 2021, still we're just matured a lot. So do I think that we'll see Bitcoin pukes more often? Definitely not. Will they exist? Of course, because there's always going to be people that get over levered and get clapped up and stuff, or there's going to be situations where people want to unload positions aggressively or whatever. There's always going to be those moments. I do think they're going to happen less, though. Using CBD is too advanced. It's not worth it for most people. It's not, well, yeah, it's just everybody approaches CBD from like a simplistic view when it's like you have to be smart to use it, and thus it's really not that useful for most people. I'd rather just use things that I can be an idiot and get away with. We have the identical trade plan. We were geniuses or tards. We're probably tards. Name's familiar or similar to Walter White. Yeah, confirmed. Yeah, he's my cook. In 10 minutes, Bitcoin will pump $400 Renos. Damn, guys. We got the fucking market maker in the chat with us. Yo, Magus, what up? Chop, 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 everyone. Expectations of a great 2024. I think we probably are going to have pain in Q1 in the version, you know, form of either outright chop or bear chop. But I do think that we're probably going to resolve the trend upwards. It's just a matter of, do we go down further or what? I don't really care, though. Definitely think that we'll go up at some point again this year. Trend is still really strong, in my opinion. Arthur just needed a new Lambo, confirmed. Thanks for the info. It was a gold. No problem, brother. You think Bitcoin will show stronger correlation to ES TradFi now? I'm not like an expert on this, but yeah, I would probably guess yes. I would think that that like all the Bitcoin ETF flows will matter more over time. So I imagine that we will have more legacy market makers. A lot of the legacy market makers, right, got fucking clapped up, you know, in 2022 though. So that's, a lot of them are licking their wounds, wondering if they should come back. So I think it's just once a couple of them start to come back, though, I'll follow. We cooking Cryptoski. Have you checked INJ? No, I haven't looked at altcoins yet. I'll do altcoins very soon here. We're just doing question time. All right. Oh, by the way, I put out a poll yesterday, yesterday about what next video I make for YouTube. So trading flows in 2024 is what won by a decent margin, which I'm not surprised by that. It was such a good bait Trading flows in 2024. No, but so yeah, I'm going to do trading flows in 2024 as the next video. It should be pretty helpful because I'm basically going to just show you what I'm using and what I'm not using. And one of the main takeaways for that would be like out of all the order flow tools, I'm not really using a whole lot of shit these days. I like to use as little as possible. No alts yet. Yeah, but we'll go ahead and let's go ahead and dive into shitters now. So let's get into altcoins. Bitcoin, yeah, I really do think that Bitcoin's going to. I said this in the group earlier. It seems to be the case too, right? Continue to squeeze out shorts as we run into Coinbase asks, and then Coinbase will probably start smacking the bid again as we probably get closer into the 44K region. So I actually think that like there's really good risk to reward on shorting in the 44K region if we get there, but I'm probably not going to take it. I've been really disinterested in like trading super actively recently. Which, all right, that's a super random conversation, but it just came up, so I'm gonna have it with you guys. The longer you trade, the less pressure you're gonna feel to participate in everything. I've gotten to the point where I feel very comfortable with just like being like, yeah, fuck it. I just don't really feel like it. And I've noticed through journaling that a lot of the time, those moments when I'm like actually motivated to trade and like want to, those are the moments when I do best. If I like force myself to do stuff, then I perform worse. So it could be useful information for you guys to start to recognize when you are motivated and driven and then go hard during those periods, because very, very few of us are going to be robots where we have just sustained motivation, right? You have the same motivation every day of the week, every year. It's probably not going to happen, right? It's going to have an ebb and flow. So you could probably better capitalize on when you're motivated by recognizing that and deciding to push yourself. And like the past 2 weeks or so, I just really haven't felt any extreme motivation to force myself to click buttons. So I've known, I've had a good idea of what would happen here and there, and I've just literally chosen not to trade it. And that's fine. Maybe that's useful for you guys. But anyways, let's get into some shitcoins here. So I'm going to run through my list, and it's probably going to roughly overlap with what you guys want anyways, but if there's any tickers you want, throw them in the chat, and I'll get them looked at. So starting at the top, this isn't actually my favorite coin, it's just coincidentally at the top of the list, but I do like Maker on higher time frame. We could look at it on the yearly first. Yeah, I mean, basically, really, really strong trend now for, quite some time. Almost a year-long uptrend now. Well, actually, I mean, maybe we could call it over that, right? Because it really started off last year's yearly open. Yeah, I mean, basically, I didn't really have any plans on this one because I wasn't going to trade it. What I would probably be looking for would, let's go to the 30-minute really quickly. There's no, like, egregious singles up in here. That's what I was hoping for. Hoping for the singles to overlap with quarterly. I would say on Maker, if you wanted to trade this, that, yeah, I mean, I basically would just be trying to buy into the lower parts of the current quarterly value. So you could buy either the quarterly or like down here. Really good risk to reward around 1800 for long continuation. It's not my favorite though, for sure. I have a lot of other coins that I like more, which we'll get into. Like Blur is one I definitely like. I think that like any sort of aggressive dip opportunity into these kind of voids that you could get. Let's see on 30 minutes. Right, so right now, like the aggressive dip buy is like right here. So you hope it makes a higher high to be confident that it's going to trade up, and then you're looking for like a dip into this region for the aggressive dip, and then the like safer, more realistic dip around 62 cents. So I don't really have any key plans. It's crazy how I know how like bad my plans and focus are on things when I'm not actively trading. Like I don't even know what the fuck I would do on Blur right now. Tron, I hate Tron, and I almost will never trade it, but like look at this thing on the yearly. You just can't not respect this fucking thing's trend. Ridiculous. So definitely one to pay attention to in my opinion, guys. We'll do INJ in a little bit more detail because I actually intend to trade INJ and somebody asked about it. So INJ is one that I do actually like quite a bit. I don't really need to cover the, trend. You guys are probably already familiar with it. It had a gargantuan uptrend all year last year. How it's developing right now is pretty bullishly as well. You can call it a triangle meme. You can call it whatever. I just like how this looks. So I'd be looking for very shallow dips bidding like $38 or something like that for continuation on this thing. And it wouldn't, you know, my next, like, you just do like total idiot logic. This thing probably just does like another 80% move. So this thing probably trades into the upper 60 or lower 70s next, I would imagine, on the next kind of major leg. If you look at this thing on the yearly, I mean, I think it's just doing another one of these kind of breakout moves. And generally, yeah, I mean, yeah, does it not look pretty similar, right? I mean, obviously it had this disgusting downside wick, but, you know, classic triangle meme image. So yeah, I really like INJ. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else to say. I really would not expect it to trade back below here at all. I wouldn't. This would more or less be risk invalidation. So any kind of shallow dips into here, you get bought. And if you start to get below this region, you know, you're probably invalidated on bearishness for a while, or bullishness for a while, at least down into like the 30s or upper 20s, excuse me. YGG is a ridiculous scam coin, but it's actually something I traded a little bit at the end of last year. If you look at it on the higher time frame chart, I mean, look at this thing. Classic. It's just a classic scam, guys. Classic. Don't worry, if I'm not doing your shitcoins right now, I will reach out and do them after I'm done with my list. So yeah, a similar one to this was Front. Front and YGG seem to be pretty strongly correlated to one another. I caught a really big move on Front a couple weeks ago. But I do think YGG is probably the better bet between the two because it is definitely more liquid and has more active participation. But it would not, you know, surprise me to see this thing doing some major legs. So if we go and look at the fresh quarterly on YGG, I mean, it looks really similar to INJ. So I would just, you know, argue really shallow dips into like the midpoint for the quarterly are probably where I want to buy. Like this thing maybe does, you know, something like this, right? That's probably what I would guess. So YGG won't be my favorite pick because it's definitely a lower tier shitter. So I would much prefer to favor your INJs and your TIAs and things like that. So let's get into the other ones. So pretty interesting relationship between Sei and Sui. Do we need to look at... I mean, we don't really need to look at the higher time frame chart on Sui all that much. Basically, I would be expecting... you know, this, you know, it's so obvious, right? You expect this kind of cluster and the quarterly to be immediate, like major support. Technically, turbo dip or turbo shallow dip is right here at the quarterly. I wouldn't want to bet on that personally. I don't think the EV's there. The bet is definitely here. So basically, take it down to just over $1, and then you want to buy that again probably if it comes back on that, especially if that's off the back. You know, all these dip kind of setups, you want them to be off the back of a good Bitcoin puke. Sei definitely looks very triangle meme-y, right? So if we kind of zoom out, I think we just go to the higher time frame one for this. I deleted them all, but we had a lot of meme triangles drawn on this one. Very easy to draw triangles over and over, you know, triangle, 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 really small triangles, and then the larger one. So I do think that this is going to resolve to the upside. I like how it's currently developing. I would say same argument as INJ, and like what we said with YGG is that because they're developing bullishly like this, you probably just want to be looking to buy in this region with invalidation kind of below the range. Because if this isn't the dip buying zone, then it's much lower. But yeah, I mean, the trend is pretty strong. So, and since the triangle's coiling up, I would, you know, I really think that, yeah, midpoint buys are probably what you're looking for right now. Okay, and then the last one on my list that I really cared to go over is going to be TIA. TIA still remains to be super strong. Basically everything that I just showed you is like the actual good coins in the market. Oh, this is the one I had all the meme triangles drawn on. So yeah, I mean, what is there even to say on this, right? Obvious, like macro dip buying territory is like $17 or $18 basically. So if you get a dip into this, like it probably does this, and it's really simple like that. So let's go to the quarterly really quickly. Yeah, I mean, I think that you probably just get a sweep of this kind of region, and then you probably move up from there. The lower dip is maybe in the 15s, but TIA still looks like giga strong. And before I get into your guys' shitcoins, because that's it for my list, The obligatory follow-up that I should have said at the beginning for some of you guys that are newer is that all these kind of dip buying plays are off the back of what Bitcoin's doing. So if I want to play continuation on these, I need to see Bitcoin give me the long bias setup as well. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to pass on it most of the time. All right, I'll start to look at your guys' coins now. All right, I already did say for short term, what's your take on Bitcoin? I already went over that, but basically, if it goes lower, I want to bid it. I mean, yeah, I would just honestly just rewind it back because I'll do a better explanation at the beginning of the video. I always do Bitcoin first. Maker back at weekly VWAP. Yeah, Maker's been a little bit weak here. Definitely not holding up as well as some of the other ones, but I do think I really haven't not enjoyed trading Maker, so it's not really one that I trade that much. But you know, it's the same argument with Tron. Even though I'm probably not going to trade Tron at all, it's still good to have it on the list for you guys because they are good coins as far as trend structuring. OP. Yeah, I traded OP a little bit. I actually haven't even looked at betas in a while. I could probably look at them. Yeah, I mean, so I don't really like the way OP is developing as much as some of the other ones. It's definitely not as strong right now, which is probably because like the ETH beta narrative is probably already gone, I would imagine. Arbitrum was the strongest and OP was the second strongest. Right now, yeah, I really don't like the way this is developing. Technically, like your risk to reward, what we're talking about now is good for bidding, but I'd much rather bid the thing that's showing the strength. So there's a reason why it's not a priority on my lists right now. As far as higher time frame goes on OP though, it is like definitely doing the meme where it broke out of, you know, all-time high retest, consolidation above all-time high. So, I mean, it does have that going for it. It's in the kind of price discovery situation. Render. Yeah, we can look at Render. So I really liked Render in Q4 of 2023, but I don't like it that much anymore. We can look at that on lower time frame. Yeah, I mean this looks like what Solana was looking like as well. You don't want to see off the open just getting rejected like this, right? So every rejection from the quarterly or yearly, whatever you want to refer to it as, is the same. Every rejection is a sign of weakness. So I wouldn't want to see it continuing to develop this way if I was bullish on it. You need to see the reclaim get fought for soon. Otherwise, it's going to, look kind of rough. Like, this is something I was saying with Solana, right? Which is why I did de-risk some of my SOL, is because I don't like the way that the quarterly is developing compared to some of these other coins. Dot? You want me to look at Polkadot? Seriously? I'm about to bully the fuck out of your coin, right? Any of these old coins are probably pieces of dog shit. There's a reason why I don't look at old coins like this, guys. Yeah, right, so there we go. Point, that's the point right there. When your coin looks like this, and the benchmark asset for your market looks like this, there's something wrong, right? How does your coin not get lifted when the heaviest asset in the market gets lifted all the way up here, right? So this thing looks like garbage on higher time frame. Yeah, it has a decent local trend going for it, and that's the only thing you could say nice about it. Higher time frame is pretty rough. Decent local uptrend, and then the quarterly is developing pretty bearishly as well, right? So most coins are going to be developing like this, right? You're going to see this on probably 98+% of the coins, and this is not what you want to see when you look at it. You want to see this. I mean, that's still pretty fucking ugly, but that's because nobody trades this fucking thing. Old coins are almost always bad coins. I'm not really interested in checking that coin. Easios coin. Big time? You look at big time for sure. Where's that one at? Big time. So out of the kind of fresher triangle meme coins, I have not liked this one too much. The reason why I've been ignoring it is because it basically had its chance. If we go to like a 4 hour, we can see it probably, right? It had its chance, when it, it lifted up and then, started to meme, and the fact that it broke down from its meme. So this is where I didn't like it anymore. I think that maybe you could say that if Big Time starts to get back into this previous triangle above 50 cents, then maybe that's a bull argument. But I don't, it's clearly a weaker coin compared to some of the other ones. So that's why it, got removed from my main list. This was on my main list for a period. Arbitrum, yeah, so I did like Arbitrum a lot. I like Arbitrum, guys. This is a good coin. Look at this on our time frame, right? Definitely, anything that doesn't have that kind of price history to hold it back, and it looks like this, definitely good. So let's look at it on medium time frame real quick. See if there's anything. Yeah, so looking at this, it's the same argument as what we said with INJ and like whatever the fuck else we said this on. I don't remember. You want to buy dips into like midpoint or slightly below. So basically dips sub $2 dips should get bought up, and then below this kind of region you're wrong. So to keep it really simple for you guys, you're effectively looking for something like this. I like this coin though. During ETH beta season, which lasted all of like 4 days, Arbitrum was like the strongest the entire time. I think you said Link next. I've been really ignoring Link for a while now, so it'll be interesting to take a look at Link right now. It's got an interesting quarterly going, so that's nice. As far as the damn, so it broke out of, right, remember there was this like almost 2-year long range it broke out of. It's got this consolidation, and it has this kind of big breakout or breakdown move that kind of classic deviation meme. So theoretically, if this can continue to use its yearly as support and build value upwards, that could have been a classic like deviation meme to start another breakout wave. So this could be bullish depending on how it continues to form here. During all this, like a lot of other coins were going up, so I've been ignoring this thing for a long time now. Again, I wouldn't, if I had to guess probabilities, I'd say it's pretty low probability that that's what's happening, but it could. More than likely what happens is it just ends up losing the fresh VWAPs and trades pretty bearishly. Super. What the fuck is that? Got a perp for it. That's crazy. What the fuck is this? It's really hard for me to say something like on this. It basically doesn't have like a trend. How old is this thing? Like a month and a half old. I don't know. Maybe if it starts to, if it continues to develop bullishly and you see it bouncing from the quarterly and then retesting the quarterly, maybe you get bullish on this. But I don't like the way this looks. I wouldn't trade this. FTM. FTM was good for a minute. I don't know if it is anymore. Let's see. So I liked FTM. Like it had like a decent local uptrend forming on it. Again, it's your classic. I don't like it when the coins look like this, right? But at least this coin had some fight at the yearly open. So we'll see. It's not something I would pick myself until I saw the like immediate yearly developing bullishly. So if it can reclaim the yearly and then develop bullish, maybe it's a trend continuation play, but I don't like this that much. It's definitely, there's a reason why it's not a primary coin on my list. I do scan my list super actively, guys. It's not like I just bully your coins and never look at them. I look at your dog shit coins too to make sure that they're still dog shit. JTO. Looking like a big booty coin. Damn. The OGs in the chat know about the big booty coin from the beginning of last year. This is looking spicy. I don't even have this on my list. All right, first guy of the stream to share a ticker that wasn't already on my list that isn't dog shit. Let's go. Kudos. All right, this might be a spicy coin, guys. I like when these new scam coins get listed and they do this kind of down only into this round out bottom and start a healthy uptrend. I've traded a lot of coins like this, so yeah, I like the way this looks. Looks like, you know, Aptos was the origin of the big booty scams at the beginning of last year. And yeah, we like trading big booty scams. So, I mean, do I even need to do the analysis, like say it, right? Like either the quarterly band continues to hold the support or you get like a quarterly retest. But either way, you're looking for dip continuation on something that looks like this. It's developing pretty nicely off the early open. Damn, we got questions. How do you invalidate after entering at VWAP levels? So you're asking me like a real hard question to answer simplistically. Because like I don't do hard stops, guys. Almost all my stop outs are manual because I don't like the way things look. So it's all about gauging reaction, you know, how strong is momentum in my favor or against, etc. These kind of concepts. I'm using time and order flow and momentum to invalidate myself. So a simple example would be if I like, you know, I buy a VWAP retest and there's a weak bounce from it. That's the reason to close it. I buy a VWAP retest and I can just tell that when we're bouncing that the ask on the passive side is incredibly strong and that we're not really getting through it. We're buying a ton off this bounce, but we're not going up that much. That's the reason to close it, right? It's all discretionary. And I could just sit there and say examples on examples for like an hour straight, right? Look at ENS. Yeah, I think I actually liked ENS the other day when I was looking at it. Let's see. Yeah, so ENS looks really good on the open, and it has a pretty decent local trend. So yeah, what I would say though is that like out of all the ETH beta plays, like Arbitrum is way stronger than ENS. So I would probably just pick Arbitrum for that kind of play. It looks okay, though, for sure. DYDX. I don't think DYDX is a good coin, but let's look. So if we look at my crackhead doodles, my thesis on this was that we're kind of building value higher. So actually, I did talk about this on the last stream. I think I said, like, this is a good long, but I wouldn't take it. But, you know, so it did come into the range low, and it looks like it's going to bounce. So, I mean, I don't know, man. This isn't the kind of coin that I would like to trade. I think that there is an argument for it to trade up. It's just not one I would pick is all. There's just better opportunities, I think. But, yeah, it looks good on higher time frame. Like, it could probably trade up. And then I think that the fresh VWAP is supportive as well to an extent. Not really. It's a little too early to say. You look at near. Been trapped in a long from $3.80. I'm a little bit scared to look at this. Damn, they changed their logo? Oh no, brother. Nah, you're memeing, dude. I hope that you're memeing. So I don't like this coin. Right? It's a classic hard time frame dog shit argument. And then it's pretty rough off of the open, right? This is a non-ideal yearly open for you. So, I mean, I really hope that that's not a meaningful trade or that you're just trolling because you're not in a good place, brother. You're in deep shit. You are praying. Right now, you're currently at your support, so you're praying that God provides you an exit right now. So if you get a pop, if you're actually in a short from $3.80 and you get one of these pops, you thank the universe for sparing your life and you exit because you're in a bit of trouble. And I'm not saying that to be dramatic or to make you feel bad or anything. I'm just being honest. Like, I would not want to be in this position if I were you. You're praying right now. Any thoughts on the NASDAQ? I haven't traded the NASDAQ since 2020. So it's been, almost 4 years since I traded that, and I don't really chart it that much. If you really want, I could look at it really quickly. My VWAP levels are going to suck. God damn, this thing is so bullish. Jesus. It is just insane. Yeah, so even though I don't trade it, we definitely called the bottom on the S&P and the NASDAQ. And I'm so surprised. I can't believe that it fucking traded to this extent afterwards. Why is my box not drawn? Oh, that's because... Yeah, I used to have a separate template for boomers. Yeah, so looking at the NASDAQ on the yearly, like, this thing is fucking insane, right? There's no reason to expect it to not continue to go up on high time frame when it looks like this. If there's a big dip in equities, you buy the fuck out of it because this thing looks charged to go up, right? Really strong yearly open, too. Good looking open for the year for sure. God, VWAPs are so ugly on this because Awanda data's dog shit. Yeah, so these VWAPs aren't really good. They're gonna be inaccurate, but they're close enough for the arguments of just hard time frame. But yeah, I mean, really good start for the year for the S&P. This thing will probably continue to go up. So if you're positioned bullishly in the stock market, you're probably gonna have a good year. It looks like. Obviously, it's fucking 2 weeks in, so I'm just an idiot for saying that, but it's probably going to keep going up. I'll roll the dice. Magus, thanks for the stream. No problem, brother. What exchange do you use for VWAP levels? Assuming Binance Spot? No, I use Binance Perps, actually. I mean, yeah, you can... I've already gone down the route of using multiple exchanges in aggregation for VWAP. I just moved away from it. I don't like it. In order to do multiple exchanges in the same VWAP, you need to weight it, right? You can't have one exchange that does 10 or 20 billion dollars a day in volume be compared against something that does 2 billion, right? So you have to weight them, and it's very difficult to do that properly. Your weighting needs to be dynamic because the weighting is not the same every day, you know what I mean? So yeah, not that big of a fan of that stuff. But to each their own. Stake dot for parachain auctions will unlock tomorrow. I'll pretend that I know what that means. Arbitrum, 2 people saying ARB. I already did ARB. I like ARB. Out of all the ETH betas, it's the best looking one for sure. FTM, I already did that. I thought it was a piece of shit. Rose. Don't imagine Rose is going to look that good, but we'll see. Yeah, higher time frame is pretty puke. And then immediate picture is also not that great. So yeah, I'm going to just breeze through and just say a hard pass on this one. Pepe. I think Pepe, I'm high on drugs. Yeah, I think you are high on drugs if you like Pepe coin. Because I think that this thing is probably cooked. Yeah, it definitely doesn't look good. So right, anchored VWAP, right? So the history of the perp, the VWAP, says down still, right? So, I mean, this is just a heavy coin, guys. I don't know that Pepe is ever gonna come back. We'll see though. So yeah, definitely, if you're trading, you want to trade memes, go find something newer than Pepe. Pyth. You guys have a lot of shitcoins you want me to look at. So Pyth, like, doesn't look good, right? So, like, from chart origin, definitely in a downtrend. Immediate picture, it has an okay quarterly developing on it. So, let's see if it can... I would say I'll change my stance if it can sustain. What we could be seeing right now is deviation meme, where this is support. They got, and we reclaimed it, right? Can definitely see with the HVN here. So, if this develops bullishly... then I'll change my stance, but for the time being, I don't like this kind of look for the trend that it has going. What the fuck is this? Yeah, I'm not... I already did ENS. It's probably one of the worst out of all the betas. Rose already did. What up, Crispy LFG? ETH BTC meme or ETH Sol. I don't care about ETH Sol. We can look at ETH BTC though. Yeah, I mean, basically with ETH BTC, if you look at this on higher time frame, I've been bullying this for a long time now. Every time people get bullish on it, it's just in these spikes. It wouldn't surprise me if this just started to revert back and ETH dominance like was just a week-long event. You know, I think that's probably what's going to happen. If ETH BTC can pull back to this kind of region and put in a higher low and then start to like maybe trend up from there, then I would change my stance. But for now, it probably looks like mean reversion. Let's see. You guys are asking hella questions today. Check on people. The cartel are pumping it again, are they? You mean they did pump it? Or you think they're gonna pump it again? Yeah, I mean, I would personally stay away from turbo scams like this. Unless I think I have some sort of edge with flow. You check Rune. Yeah, I think Charlie will probably be streaming later today, so you probably want to ask Charlie about Rune, not me, but let's see. Yeah, so I don't like Rune, right? Like, it did put up a good fight here in Q4, but if it's developing like this, right? Like, December's bearish, and then current quarterly is bearish. Not ideal, so I don't like this coin. Blur looks like that? Yeah, Blur looks good. I don't know what you mean by like that, but it looks good. Pyth very similar, maybe a little weaker than JTO. Yeah, it definitely looks weaker than JTO. Don't forget to like the stream, guys. Thank you, Spirit. Facts. 140, you in here, 77 likes. You gotta pump those numbers up. If you're a cloud trader, the weekly DYDX looks good. Yeah, I don't do cloud, but teach their own. What's up, boys? Back from vacation. Looks like I came back for nothing. I don't know, Troy. We might be getting spicy here pretty soon. Let's see. Beam? Yeah, you know, I did trade Beam quite a bit, actually. Are we talking about Beam X or Beam, though? Is there a difference? I think I was trading Beam X. Yeah, it has to be Beam X. Let's see. Beam was... Alright, yeah, I don't mind Beam. I don't mind this. Where the fuck is this out on my list? It's a good scam. This looks okay. This looks okay, I think. There isn't really much to say on this kind of thing, right? You're either gonna buy the midpoint and gamble. You're gambling on this, or you're waiting for something more to trade up and trade down into. I don't know. You can either gamble or it's at or wait. But I do think that this will probably resolve upwards. How do you use volume for intraday? That's such a like a heavy question, brother. Like, if you ask me like one specific detail about it, I'm not like over here using volume per se either, right? If we're talking about like volume at the bottom of the chart, it's, you know, simple explanation. It's all about trying to identify initiation from takers or exhaustion from takers. Go study up on that. STX. I like STX's local trend. And basically, if it could start to fight for a reclaim, honestly, STX is probably good for a gamble, right, where it's at off just this chart alone. But it needs to reclaim quarterly and develop a quarterly bullish, you know, a bullish quarterly, excuse me. It looks okay, though. I mean, if Bitcoin trades up, STX is going to go up as, like, the highest correlated beta. Next to ordinals, I think. Check coin. Why do you guys want to look at stonks all of a sudden? NASDAQ. So it's getting smacked down like pretty hard. I think on high time frame this thing is super bullish, but you're probably gonna dip harder, right? So maybe one more good puke on this thing. One more good puke into, you You know, some of these kind of VWAP overlap regions, right? So they're good puke into like just over 100 probably. And then you buy. Easy claps. Can you look at Domino's Pizza stock? I'm pretty sure DPZ, yeah, I've looked at this thing before. And it's just the most insane bull market, I'm pretty sure, right? Oh, no, it's not. It used to be. So this thing used to be the most insane. Like, investing in pizza was the best investment you could have made in your life. It got brutalized, though. I guess local trend is up again. Yeah, this thing was probably... Damn. Things like this shouldn't be getting outperformed by the S&P that hard, though, right? The S&P is, like, way the fuck up here. So, I don't know. I don't know how stocks work. Is, like, playing the laggard in stocks smart, or is it you got to go crypto where you just play the leader? If laggards work in stocks, then this looks like a big lagger. But I haven't traded stocks actively in like 7 years, so I don't know. Damn, you guys are typing in the chat like crazy. Pepe with a hat. I just wanted to look at. I just wanted to ask if you're looking at CBD alt on or divs on alts, or would you rather look at spot pairs or perps? I'm not doing CBD diversions regardless. If you were to be trading CBD divs, your question is, would you rather look at spot pairs or perps for alts? Probably both. I mean, like perps are more likely to give you more immediate moves. And then spot's probably more likely to give you higher time frame moves. It's probably an overly simplistic way of explaining it, but it's generally accurate, I would imagine. Aave. And you also look at lens chart. Bruh. That's personal. Somebody's coming in here and asking me to look at the lens chart. You for sure heard me cry about Lend before. Guys, there was a shitcoin called Lend back in the day, called ETH Lend. And that became Aave. And I had a monster bag in 2018 of Lend. And I sold it for a 55% gain. And it went up like 95,000% after that. Classic. Alright guys, I'm getting pretty bored of looking at shitcoins. So I'm not going to look at your shitcoins anymore, probably, unless they're really interesting. BNB? That's interesting. BNB's been pretty hard to read, though, for like a year and a half, 2 years now. It's just like a fucking massive chop range. As far as our time frame goes, it's really hard to like even say anything. I guess technically it's probably more likely just from the chart alone to go up. But I mean, I guess every asset's design should theoretically be designed to go up over time, getting devalued against the dollar. I don't fucking know on a chart like this, honestly. Immediate picture, it looks kind of good how it's developing on the yearly. So maybe BNB making it through the fucking SEC charges and stuff is going to send them up. I don't know. I wouldn't trade this. I can't even remember the last time I traded BNB, so I got no insider edge into this one. Thanks, Jim, for asking me to look at this one so I could look like an idiot. I have no fucking idea on that one. I should have just said yes. Thoughts on Coinbase stock? People have been calling it a great cycle bag. Trades very violently, though. I mean, I think a lot of crypto people don't have a realistic expectation of stock market volatility. Individual stocks are actually pretty high vol, right? It's the indexes that are not. So I think, yeah, I mean, Coinbase is probably a good place to park, bet on crypto if you're risk averse and don't want to own crypto itself. Or maybe it's a good place to diversify. Or maybe it's got decent liquidity. I kind of doubt it, but maybe it does. Don't know. Link with the real world asset narrative. Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. The RWA stuff. It sounded, so dumb in 2017, but as time goes on, it's What this cycle, it probably won't materialize in anything, but we'll probably convince people it will. And that's how we make it go up. Damn, you're just asking how to use volume again, brother. Watch some of my YouTube videos where I cover that stuff. Ozempic ruining all fast food stocks. Isn't that like some sort of health pill that's like killing people? I think I saw about that. Oh yeah, something that Coinbase does have going for it is the base narrative. We'll see. I'm trading olive oil and orange juice futures. Grayscale sent 9,000 Bitcoin to Coinbase. Sounds like fun. Radiant qualifies for the cartel. It might, but I'm too disinterested to look at it, to be honest. Twin was my best trade last year, crypto included. Nice job, Cryptoski. Karate Combat kind of moving. Karate Combat is a coin? What the fuck? No way. There's no way Karate Combat's a coin. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream here in the next few minutes. I got a bunch of stuff I got to get done this week, so I got to get out there and get to work. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Any last moment comments or questions, what have you, throw them in the chat. How and when do you decide to buy a spot bag with size of a scam like JTO? Well, I can't answer that because, like, from my own point of view, I would never do that, right? Relative to my own holdings, I would never buy something with size relative to my own holdings on a shitcoin like that. How do you buy? Is Coinbase Premium finally starting to fade away? Let's go, boys. The Coinbase seller is tiring for now. All right, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate all the kind words at the end here. I'm not going to read out the names, mainly because I will mispronounce 50% of them. But thank you. I do see all of you guys. Appreciate it. We made it to 10K. 25K subs by the end of the year. Help me get there, everybody. Press like.